grand welcome to all our listeners. This is the first podcast of the new year. So, wishing everyone a very happy new year. And with that, I welcome Shayon, who's our Man United spokesperson, if I may say so.
Thanks, bro. Thank you so much. Happy New Year too, also.
And so, let's start speaking about United. And I'm sure you must be really upbeat about their form.
I am. I mean, you look at the table and everything, I think, that has happened since the start of the season, especially, I think, the performance against Tottenham Hotspur at home with United's, home game performances. I think it's absolutely, one can say it's unbelievable that they are right up there with Liverpool, having played, I think, one game less. And if they win against, I think, Burnley, they will go top of the league. I think Manchester United fans still can't, I mean, although they are writing so much on social media, I really feel they can't believe what's happening. So it's absolutely great to see the position that the team is in, but I think I think one of those very few people who's gonna stick their neck out, and I'm gonna just say that this is not a true reflection of where United as a team is at the current level. Because I think at the end of the day there is still a huge gap between Liverpool and Manchester City, and they are, I think, they're still the torch bearers in terms of how a team should play and how a team should perform to get their hands on the title. So I think there is still a long way to go, but obviously we can hope, and hope is always a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. But I think, I was speaking to some of my other United friends as well, and one of them was saying what they were saying that they're really impressed about is at least they are back in the contention. Right? They're definitely, at least he was saying that we are definitely not going to win the league this season. It is great if we do so, but at least we are back in the mix. I mean, that is what is really great, because things like this, I mean, in situations like this, we have seen teams who have gone just down the pipe, right? So we have seen Liverpool,
Right.
after the Rafa Benitez heydays, they were really going down the pipe. So I think that's what is more for the United fans, which is more trusting that
Right. Right. Right.
at least there's a direction that Ole is taking the team to. I mean, he is trying to stamp his own authority, his own style.
I think there has been a change of attitude, if I can say, and maybe not in terms of, but whenever we say attitude, it's always refers to the football style and how the players play on the pitch. But I think it's an attitude at the back room which we are talking about. That has, I think, Ole has made a conscious effort, and he has spoken on so many occasions, also in press conferences and later on also, that he wants to see a different Manchester United side who should resemble something of how it was with Sir Alex Ferguson. So I think he has made that conscious effort. He's trying to do a lot of things at his end to change all those. I think the clear indication is the kind of players that he's bringing in and the kind of players that he's willing to let go of.
Yeah.
So I mean, there has been a change, of course, and that's it's good that it's reflecting, especially the wins that we have had during the last one odd month against, I think, especially the ones where we were trailing at halftime, and maybe a couple of seasons back United fans would have said, okay, here we go, it's going to be another loss. But just amazing performances in the second half, and we have somehow turned it around. So yes, I think that sense of belief, which is, I think, very critical in any game, especially football. If you are down 2 goals or 3 goals or 1 goal, you have to come back and beat the team. So I think that is maybe slightly coming back with each passing day, and Ole has, uh, I think, drilled that into the team. So yes, I think what you're saying is yes, that strong mentality or attitude is there, which I think has helped quite a bit, not only in this season, I think last season also, to come back into the Champions League spot, and this season where we are right now.
Yes, and I think Ole has brought in legends like Roy Keane and Van Giggs to to the dressing room to give talks and to, I mean, which is more to do about the mental aspect of the players,
Right,
right? I mean, especially, I mean, given the COVID and everything, getting their
right,
heads down and working as a unit
right.
is very important.
We have Darren Fletcher now in the last week who has joined Ole's
Right,
first room team from under 16. So again, he's another. I think Ole has said that he's someone who has that Manchester United DNA in his veins. So I think he with Michael Carrick, then now with Fletcher, he wants those people who have been in that Alex Ferguson era, who knows how the club was during those heydays. And I think he wants to, or rather, he's trying to bring all those traits from the late 2000 and late 90s into the current team. So yeah,
right, and I think the arrival of Bruno Fernandes has also been very important in this turnaround. Right? He really looks like a leader on the pitch and someone who's ready to go that extra distance and do anything to win the match.
right. I mean, see, I mean, everyone has been speaking, of course, about the assists and the goals. But what has impressed me the most is, I think, you mentioned how he performs on the pitch, not only in terms of his passes and his goals, but I think his attitude. I mean, we have clearly lacked someone with a strong attitude in terms of let's go and win the match. I think Roy Keane comes into my mind from the initial days I started watching Manchester United, and he was like a huge figure in that midfield of United. I mean, people used to be scared of him, not for the tackles, but the attitude that he had towards the game. I'm not going to leave even a 1 inch space, even if it's the last game of the season. So I think that has been clearly lacking. I know Maguire, we have spoken quite a bit about his defense and all that, and Maguire is a good player at the end of the day. But I somehow do not see him as the captain. He obviously he is the captain. He's a English player and all that. But I think you need someone with that skill to recharge the team, to guide the team whenever they are down, or to let them, bring them on with you whenever you are on that pitch. I think when the camera focuses on Bruno from time to time, you see him shouting at certain players, you see him egging, you see him, calling for the ball, asking for the ball from some other players. So I think that has been really important, which has caught my eye. Of course, he's a very creative player and a very good player from a football in aspect. But I think the other aspects also are very critical that Bruno has brought to the team.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you need a leader like that in the pitch, right? So with
Right,
Maguire, he might be a really good footballer, but he is not a talkative person, right? So he is someone who will not go and confront the referee for everything.
right,
So
right, absolutely,
you need a captain who will back up the players, right, and is ready to do everything for the players, and then the
right,
players will play for that man. Right?
absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that has been a very important acquisition for United, and yeah, absolutely, as you said, he has been instrumental in turning the team around. So another controversial player in the team is Mr. Pogba. Uh, yeah. So, what are your thoughts about him during the season? I mean, he's such a talented footballer, right? Such a talented footballer. In the last match we saw, right, he was so good. But then he always, you look like his mind is somewhere else. He is not settled. He wants to do something. What are your thoughts?
Right,
Is he
right,
playing just to increase his price so that he can go to a Real Madrid
right.
or somewhere?
So I think I was on the podcast with Supreet when that incident happened with Mino Raiola, when he said all those disgusting things about Pogba, not wanting to be in the team, and he is definitely looking out for a transfer in the January transfer window. And of course, he later corrected himself that no, he's staying and maybe will look for something in the summers. So at that point, I remember I personally was very distressed by that, because United, as I said, they're still sort of building on the team. They're not the finished material. So whenever all these things come in the team, it causes a lot of trouble, not only on social media but inside the team in terms of the performances. So
Yes.
I remember telling Supreet that I mean, let's just get rid of him. And I was echoing the thoughts of Roy Keane on Sky when he said that United, as a club, has attracted the greatest of players in the past, and those players have moved on. Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy. You talk of those greats, and they have played for United, and they have moved on. The clubs have paid money, and etc. So, and then United have survived, and United have then won other trophies also down the years. So if Pogba, being the world class player that he is, the World Cup winner, and with so much of talent that everyone has bestowed on him, he's actually not done full potential, or rather full justice to that potential of his. And when your agent, who you are sort of living with in terms of wherever, these days agents are sort of the right hand
Yeah.
or the right leg of the footballers when it comes to transfers and where they're going to be. And we know Minarala being such an influential figure in the footballing fraternity. So I think I was very distressed, and I accepted the fact that maybe it is time for United to move on and let Pogba go, and acquire some good amount of money, and maybe go for some other midfield player who's actually gonna pay dividends to the team or to the club that United is. But very honestly, I think I have been proved wrong, and I mean, I'm very glad that I have been. Pogba, after that, has sort of put his head down and delivered, I think, two, three lovely performances in that midfield. I think one against, I think there were few. I think the one that comes into my mind is the one against, I think, Everton and Leeds, or I think Wolves, where United
Yeah.
won 1-0, and again I think Aston Villa. So I think he's sort of told himself, or maybe Ole has had a word with him that, look, mate, if you want to go away in the transfer window, that's fine. But right now you have to focus on the team and focus on what you're doing, and maybe that's going to help you in the future. So I think he's taken those words to his heart or to his brain, and he's put in some lovely performances. He's actually helped the team in that midfield. So I'm really impressed with him, and I usually do not say that with him, or I haven't said that in the past. But yeah, I mean, I can only hope, because I think you said that he is a talented player. At the end of that, we have to all
Yeah, I agree
agree to
completely.
that. Yeah, we
Absolutely.
have to agree to that. It's just that his attitude, his the way
Yeah.
he runs, or the way he conducts himself on the pitch, that attracts so much of attention on social media and etc. But
And not just
I
that, it
mean,
can impact, I'm sure, the other players on the pitch as well. Right? If
right,
someone is
of course,
not
of course,
running, his shoulders are down.
right, right. But I mean, see, we talked about Fernandes, right? And we sort of expected United at United. I think we always believed that Pogba might uh, rise up to the level that Bruno has, or the kind of impact that Bruno has had on the team in the last 12 odd months. Pogba would have had that. But then you got to understand there are a lot of intricacies in the team, or his positioning on the field as compared to how he was in Juventus. So, but yeah, I mean, let's not get into that. I hope Pogba uh, rediscovers his form, or the form that he is in right now. He'll go along with it, and maybe we'll see some breathtaking performances
Yeah.
till the end of the year.
Yeah, hopefully, we hope so, right? At least for the sake of football.
Right,
We don't
absolutely,
want such talents to get wasted, right? The prime example
absolutely,
we have is Mario Balotelli, right? The amount of
right,
talent he
right,
had and how he
right,
wasted that.
right.
Right. And now, speaking of impact, another player, at least I hoped would have quite a big impact, is Donny van de Beek. Right. So he has not gotten that kind of opportunities, that consistent run in the team. So, what are your thoughts on that? What's happening there? I mean, is it something not clicking? Because he has been, I mean, for 2 3 seasons he was performing really really well for Ajax. Is something missing here? Is he not able to gel with the team? Not able to gel with the the Premier League. What's happening with that?
It's a very strange and interesting. I would say I use both those words with Donny van de Beek. I think he was brought in keeping in mind that given that Pogba's situation is always up for attention. I think Ole had that in one corner of his mind that what if Pogba leaves and then I'll have someone to fall back on in the midfield. So and especially as you said, his performances against Real Madrid a couple of seasons back in the Champions League that created a lot of attention, and he got good reviews after that in that lovely Ajax team. So and the acquisition was I think some thought in the commentary I was listening in the summer transfer window that some thought maybe it was not desired from an United perspective since they already had a Bruno Fernandes and then a McTominay and then a Pogba. So some felt that maybe that was not the right decision, but then some felt that with the kind of policy that Ole and United are taking in terms of investing in players at a young age and players who can make an impact. So Van de Beek was brought in. Now, obviously, I mean, he hasn't got that game time as we call it in football, the proper game time. I think he's hardly played the full 90 minutes and he's hardly started. And the reason I think a lot of people are saying that Ole, or rather, even I feel that Ole uh, is not very 100% sure about the team that he, picks day in day out. It's you see the double pivot that he's using in terms of Fred and McTominay day in day out. Now that has not happened with United in a long time. And you have to go back to the fact that United's defense again is a huge contributor to that. I mean, the defense being really strong, maybe you would have just played one pivot in the form of a defensive midfielder, either a Matic or a Fred or a McTominay. But since the defense, he's not 100% sure that they're going to perform really well. He has to play the double pivot. Now, once you play the double pivot, then it just hardly gives you three more options in front of them. Now, considering the attacking options that he has, and especially Greenwood, how he has been, Fernandez, of course, with the current form, you can't leave him out. Rashford again, he's been a bright star in the United team. So I think he every day he fights within himself that who should I play and who should I not. Pogba, of course, I mean, if you leave him out for a couple of games, there will be huge commotion on social media that what has happened, why is a star player like that not on the team and all that. So I think he has that in mind, but at the same time, I think he's also looking into the factor that I think you have to just go over to Chelsea and how it's happening with Werner and Kai Havertz, right? So they're taking their time to settle into a different league and with the rigorous attributes of the Premier League and all that. So I think he has that in mind. I think as a manager, he likes to give people that time or that comfort level to settle in. So I think that is also a factor that is, I think, being taken into consideration when Ole drafts a team. So I'm actually very sad to see him not play day in day out. But I think looking at the larger picture and how United is gonna be for the next few years, I think maybe it's just the right thing to do, and maybe we're just 17 games into the season. There is still another almost 50% of games left, and then Europa and the FA Cup if we progress. So I think there are games for Van de Beek to make an impact. He has to, I think, bide his time and wait for that right opportunity.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We really do hope he gets his chances and he is able to make an impact, right? And prove us the player that he is.
Right.
So finally, ending. What are your thoughts on the season? What is the position that ending the season with?
I think, as I said, Obro, right? I think I am not very optimistic about United going for the title. I think it's a very honest opinion of mine. Of course, as a fan, as a supporter, I would love to see the team fight with the likes of City and Liverpool. But I think this year might not be that year. But then again, once I said that, I realized how much COVID has had an impact in this season and the crazy score lines that we have all witnessed and what more COVID has to offer. So, we do not know what's going to happen. So, this might be one of those crazy seasons. But I would love them to improve on not in terms of the league position, but I think the mental attitude and the style of play and everything that has been lacking. So I would definitely want United to improve on that. We have a couple of young players in the form of Pelistri and Ahmad Diallo who have been brought in.
Right.
I am very eager to see those because those two are attacking midfielders and ones that we have been looking for. So and hopefully Ahmad Diallo will play at some point in the next few months. So I'm hoping to see all these players and. Let's see if luck is on our side and if COVID is on our side, maybe we can end up with the Premier League table, with the title.
All right, Sharon. Yeah, let's hope for the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was a very insightful discussion that we had, and thank you so much again.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, so we do look forward to having other discussions and see how United season pan out, especially with the huge match coming up against Liverpool in a couple of weeks.
Oh, absolutely. I think that one will be a cracker of a game. I hope it's not a drab stalemate like it was with Manchester City, and I hope teams there are a lot of goals in that match, and both the teams go on the front foot and deliver a masterclass.